Something straight out of my nightmares happened at Hershey Park in Pennsylvania this weekend. It was a beautiful day. So these parents decided to take their son to Hershey Park to just, enjoy that cool breeze that is starting to come in at the end of August, close to the beginning of September. You know that Halloween weather is a perfect time to go to the theme parks because it's not as hot as it is in, June and July. In fact, I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights in a few weeks. I cannot wait. But anyways, these parents took their child to Hershey Park to have a fun family day. But at some point in time, as they're at the park, they get separated from their little kid. Their little kid runs off. He goes missing. These parents don't know what happened. They grow frantic. They don't know if some weirdo snatched their kid or if their kid just got lost in the crowd. They have no idea what happened. So they frantically search for the kid. They contact park officials, and this bigger search starts happening throughout the park. No one can find the kid. And then sometimes later, the kid is found. No one kidnapped him. He's safe, at least at the moment that he was found, because he was found over 100 feet above the ground, just casually taking a stroll along the narrow, and I do mean narrow, tracks of a monorail. And I don't know, have you guys ever been to like Disney World, Disneyland? The monorail is like my favorite part of Disney World. People ask me, hey, what's your favorite ride at Disney World? I always say, I like the Haunted Mansion, and I absolutely love that monorail. I don't know why, I always love the monorail, but every time I'm on it, I'm kind of freaked out. Because, it's that little thin track, and you just wonder, what would happen if something goes wrong, right? I never thought of someone actually just walking along the monorail track. That thought never crossed my mind, but somehow, some way, this kid makes it up there, and he's just slowly walking along the monorail track. Like I said, over 100 feet in the sky. One of the scariest things I've ever seen, because I'm watching the video of this kid walking slowly, and I'm halfway expecting, hey, is the monorail going to come through at any minute? Are the people on the ground, are they ready to try to catch this kid? How is it going to end? Well, I have the video for you. So instead of spoiling anything, let's go ahead and roll that clip. Before I do, if you guys like the channel, if you support the channel, please consider supporting the channel in one of these free, quick, and easy ways. Hit that like button, share the video, comment below, subscribe, put your notifications on, and if you want to take your support one step further, you could always donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. It is always greatly appreciated. Now, with that being said, let's find out what happened to this kid, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Keep walking.
Stop! Keep going! No, keep going! No, this way! Yes! Oh my God.
Listen, folks, theme parks can be hectic. They can be confusing. Oftentimes, you're out there, you're hot and you're flustered. There's a lot of people walking around. There's a lot of noise. There's kids running everywhere, and you're trying to keep a hold of your own kids. You cannot take your eyes off your kids for one moment in today's day and age. There's too many dangers out there, and there's too many creepos out there. So the fact that this kid was able to wander off and wind up on the monorail track, Lord knows. Jeez. Scary stuff, but I do have a few more details here about how all of this played out. Heart-stopping video shows a young boy walking along a monorail track almost 100 feet above the ground at Hershey Park after becoming separated from his parents. Horrified park attendees are seen gathering below the monorail tracks as the child walks along the track, footage filmed during the terrifying incident at the park in Hershey, Pennsylvania on Saturday. The boy was reported missing by his parents at around 5 p.m., and while crews looked for him, he entered a secure area for the monorail ride, Hershey Park said in a statement. The child was at a monorail station for about 20 minutes before he began walking along the track. Eventually, a park guest climbed up onto the rail and rescued the boy before park officials reunited the kid unharmed with his parents at around 5:30 p.m., the park said. The monorail was luckily closed at the time and had been fenced off by a chained closure at its entrance and a barricaded turnstile at the platform, according to park officials. The scary incident follows the death of a 9-year-old girl in the wave pool just weeks earlier at Hershey Park. We are grateful for the vigilance of our guests and the swift response of our team, and we remain committed to maintaining the highest levels of guest safety throughout Hershey Park. So you're dedicated to maintaining the highest safety levels. Yet, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. A 9-year-old girl just died at your park a couple of weeks ago? In the wave pool? What? I'm telling you guys. And I say this as someone who listen, I go to theme parks a good bit. Especially like in Orlando, Florida. People die at these parks more often than you think. But it's often covered up. For example, we all know the saying that no one really dies at Disney. If you die at Disney, they will cart you off the property and pronounce you dead somewhere else just to make sure they can't officially say you died at Disney. Now, Hershey Park, I don't think it's as crazy as Disney, but obviously it's dangerous because 9-year-old girl just died a couple of weeks ago. I never heard about that story. Did you guys? And look, when news stories get past me, I always raise my eyebrow because I'm tuned into the news. I'm plugged into the news 24/7. I might not talk about everything. There's a lot of things I don't talk about, but I see it. And I thought that I would have seen this story about some girl dying at Hershey Park. Never heard anything about it until now. But obviously, we cannot place all of the blame here on the park. A lot of the blame goes on the parents for losing track of their kid. I get that, trust me. But at the same time, I mean, you got this park that you know is filled with kids. Why was this kid allowed to even be near this monorail that's working or not working? I guess it wasn't working at the time. How could this kid be there for 20 minutes without someone who works at the park knowing? I mean, yeah, the parents should never let the kid out of their sight. I don't want to take, the responsibility off of them and place all of the blame on the park. But at the same time, I think the park should have measures in place to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen. Because you got this area fenced off or blocked off, yet this little toddler was able to make it in, sit and hang out there for 20 minutes without anyone knowing, along the monorail track, and then climb the track and just 100 feet in the sky, walking along the track. And no one knew anything until it was almost too late. So yeah, there definitely needs to be more safety precautions put in place at that park. And Hershey Park is very lucky today that we're not talking about another kid that died at their park. Because apparently, like they said in the article, a couple weeks ago, someone just died. We never heard about it, and from the looks of things, another kid almost just died. But I am so happy they were able to save that kid. I can't imagine what was going through that kid's mind. I don't know. I feel like when I was a little kid, even at that age, this is something I never would have done. I'm scared of heights, which is why I said at the beginning of this video, this is something out of my worst nightmares. I would have been freaked out just being someone on the ground looking 100 feet up at this little kid on the monorail track. That would have scared me. But as a big guy, I would have stood there. Maybe you could bounce off my belly when you fall down. I don't know. I would have tried to save the kid, but even looking up at stuff like that kind of freaks me out at times. So if I was a kid, I don't think I would ever have to worry about ending up on a monorail track 100 feet in the sky. But hey, kids these days, they're wild. And yeah, Lord knows what these kids are capable of. But I'm just glad this didn't end worse, because it definitely could have. So happy the kid's okay. Just wanted to bring you guys this quick video. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Will you be visiting any theme parks anytime soon? Are you going to Halloween Horror Nights? Have you ever been to Hershey Park? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.